The late afternoon sun bakes the pavement as Danielle Monroe steps out of her car, adjusting the cuff of her blazer. She's just returned to her hometown, a place she hasn't set foot in for over a decade. As she walks toward the small corner store, she notices a police cruiser parked haphazardly by the curb, engine idling. Inside, the air is thick with tension. A middle-aged white officer looms over an older black woman at the register. The officer's voice is sharp, laced with irritation. "I told you to double, bag it. Are you deaf?" The cashier, her hands trembling, fumbles with the plastic bags. Danielle steps closer, observing. The officer scoffs, then mutters under his breath, "Can't expect much from people like you." Danielle's jaw tightens. The words are like rusted nails dragged across her skin. Before she can intervene, the officer suddenly turns and collides with her. "Watch where you're going," he snaps. Then, in one vile motion, he spits at her feet. The store goes silent. Danielle doesn't move, doesn't flinch. She simply tilts her head, a slow, deliberate movement. The officer has no idea who he just disrespected. The spit lands near Danielle's polished heels, a glistening insult smeared across the tile. The room is frozen, the cashier's breath caught in her throat. The officer, arms crossed over his chest, watches her like she's supposed to cower. Danielle doesn't step back. She doesn't react the way he expects. Instead, she locks eyes with him, her stare even and unreadable. "What was that?" she asks, her voice calm, almost amused. The officer sneers. "You heard me." Danielle studies his uniform. His badge reads Officer Tate, and his stance, relaxed, one hand resting casually near his belt, tells her everything she needs to know. He's done this before. He expects to walk away from this without consequence. The cashier finally finds her voice. "Miss, maybe you should just go." But Danielle doesn't move. "I said," she repeats, taking a single step forward. "What was that?" A Tate exhales sharply through his nose, shaking his head. "It means move. You people love getting in the way." A murmur ripples through the store. A man near the refrigerators curses under his breath. A mother clutching a toddler to her chest shifts uncomfortably. Danielle nods slowly. "I see." Tate smirks. "You see what?" "That you're a coward." The smirk vanishes. The room is thick with unspoken words. Danielle knows the game. He's expecting her to yell, to threaten, to become exactly what he wants. An angry black woman causing a scene. But she won't give him that. Tate steps closer, his breath tinged with coffee and arrogance. "You've got a smart mouth." Danielle tilts her head. "And you've got a small mind." The crowd stifles a collective gasp. The cashier quickly looks away, hands trembling as she rings up the last of the groceries. Tate's nostrils flare, his hand twitches near his belt. "Careful," he warns. "Or what?" Danielle's voice is silk over steel. "You'll spit again. Maybe throw me to the ground. Slap some cuffs on me for resisting." The words hang between them. Tate glares. "You don't know who you're talking to." Danielle's lips curve into the smallest, most infuriating smile. "Neither do you." For the first time, a flicker of doubt crosses Tate's face. The cashier pushes the last bag toward the counter. "Please," she whispers. "Just go." Danielle doesn't take her eyes off Tate. "I will." She adjusts her blazer, smooths an invisible wrinkle, and steps around him. As she moves past, Tate's pride cracks. He can't let her walk out like that, untouched, unshaken. So he does what bullies do best. He reaches for her wrist. Before he can grab her, Danielle shifts, twisting away with a smooth, effortless motion. His fingers barely graze her skin. That's when she hears it. The click of a radio. A second officer, younger, standing near the entrance, lifts his radio to his mouth. His thumb hovers over the button. He's waiting for a signal. Danielle exhales slowly. This is how it happens. One man's fragile ego spirals into violence, and before long, someone like her is on the ground, handcuffed, humiliated, or worse. Tate's eyes glint. Leaving so soon. Danielle looks him over once, as if memorizing the details of his face. The deep-set eyes, the too tight uniform. The smirk that doesn't quite reach his eyes anymore. "Yeah," she says, voice cool. "But you'll be seeing me again." Tate chuckles. "Doubt it." Danielle doesn't respond. She walks past the younger officer, her stride unhurried, head held high. The moment she steps outside, the sticky afternoon heat presses against her skin. She pulls out her phone and makes a single call. It rings twice before a deep, steady voice answers. "Yes, Chief." Danielle doesn't look back at the store. "I need you at the Southside Market in 10 minutes. Bring a unit." There's a pause. Then, "Understood." She ends the call and exhales. Tate has no idea. But he's about to find out. Officer Tate leans against the counter, watching Danielle through the store's glass door as she walks away. He lets out a small, satisfied chuckle and shakes his head. Another one who thinks she's above putting up with reality. The younger officer at the door shifts uncomfortably. "You sure that was a good idea?" he mutters. Tate scoffs. "What's she gonna do? File a complaint?" He cracks his knuckles. "He'll still have a job tomorrow." But his smirk falters when a second police cruiser pulls up beside his own. The first officer to step out is broad-shouldered, dark-skinned and stone-faced. Sergeant Leon Bishop moves with an air of quiet authority, his sharp eyes scanning the parking lot before settling on the store's entrance. Two more uniformed officers emerge from the vehicle, standing at attention. Tate straightens, annoyance flickering across his face. "What the hell is this?" The younger officer swallows hard. "Oob, I think you're about to find out." The automatic doors slide open, and Bishop steps inside, the weight of his presence shifting the air in the store. His gaze sweeps the room before settling on Tate. "Officer Tate." Tate folds his arms. "What's this about?" Bishop doesn't answer immediately. Instead, he steps aside, clearing a path toward the door. Danielle Monroe walks back in. But this time, she isn't just another customer. The moment she enters, the younger officer straightens instinctively, recognition dawning in his eyes. The cashier stares, hands frozen over the register, and a few customers shift, sensing that something bigger is happening. Danielle's walk is slow, deliberate. She stops in front of Tate, her expression unreadable. The silence is suffocating. Then, Bishop clears his throat. "Officer Tate, you are in the presence of Chief Danielle Monroe." The words hit the room like a sledgehammer. Tate blinks. "What?" A bishop's tone is measured, but firm. "Chief Monroe was officially sworn in last week. She is your new commanding officer." Tate's mouth opens, then shuts. He glances at Danielle, then back at Bishop, as if waiting for someone to tell him this is a joke. Danielle's voice is quiet, controlled. "And yet, you spit at me." A murmur spreads through the store. The cashier covers her mouth, eyes wide. The man near the refrigerators lets out a low whistle. Even the younger officer takes an uneasy step back. Tate lets out a dry, disbelieving laugh. You're joking, right?" His voice is hoarse now, the confidence cracking. Danielle doesn't blink. "Do I look like I'm joking?" Tate's smirk twitches at the edges. He shifts his weight, adjusting his belt like it's suddenly too tight. "All right," he huffs. "Fine, you're the new chief. So what?" He forces a chuckle. "You still can't prove anything." Danielle holds up her phone, her thumb tapping the screen. Then, she turns the device around. A video plays. It's all there. The insults. The spit, the way he reached for her wrist. Every ugly moment captured in perfect clarity. The cashier stares at the screen, hands clenched. You were recording." Danielle tucks her phone away. "No." She nods toward the corner of the store, but security cameras were. Tate's face drains of color. Bishop steps forward, voice calm but unyielding. "Chief Monroe, would you like to file formal charges?" The words make Tate flinch. He looks at the younger officer, but the kid won't meet his gaze. The customers. Some are recording, others whispering. The power dynamic has shifted, and he knows it. Danielle considers the question, then slowly shakes her head. "Not yet." Tate exhales in relief, too soon. Daniel takes a slow step forward, her voice dropping to a near whisper. First, I want you to listen to me carefully. Because I am not the woman you thought I was. Tate stiffens. I don't flinch. I don't back down. And I sure as hell don't tolerate cowards in my department. She leans in slightly. And that's exactly what you are. Tate swallows, sweat beading at his temple. Daniel straightens. You're suspended. Effective immediately. Hand over your badge. Tate's breath catches. I can't. I can. And I just did. Bishop extends a hand. Badge. Now. For the first time, real panic flickers across Tate's face. This is ridiculous. He looks around the store as if searching for support. But no one is on his side. Slowly, reluctantly, he unclips his badge and slaps it into Bishop's palm. Daniel tilts her head. And your gun? Tate freezes. You're kidding. Her expression doesn't change. Do I look like I'm kidding? The seconds stretch. Then, jaw clenched so tight it might crack, Tate unholsters his firearm and hands it over. Daniel finally exhales. Good. She turns to the cashier. Ma'am, do you want to press charges for harassment? But the woman hesitates. Her hands are still shaking, but there's something new in her eyes. Something that wasn't there before. Hope. She squares her shoulders. Yes. Tate's head whips around. What? Daniel nods. Officer Bishop, please escort Mr. Tate out. Bishop gestures toward the door. Let's go. Tate doesn't move at first. His jaw flexes, his nostrils flare, but there's no fight left in him. Slowly he turns. The moment he steps outside, the sun is blinding. Cameras flash. Reporters, who somehow got wind of the commotion, swarm the sidewalk. Daniel watches from the entrance as Tate disappears into the back of a squad car. For the first time that day, she smiles. The moment the squad car pulls away, a hush falls over the parking lot. The weight of what just happened settles over the onlookers. Some shake their heads. Others whisper in disbelief. But Danielle, she stands still, arms folded, watching the car disappear around the corner. Then, a slow ripple starts. One voice clapping, then another. A few nods of approval. The tension that once gripped the store finally begins to ease. Sergeant Bishop clears his throat. We'll handle the paperwork, Chief. His voice is calm, measured, but there's something in his eyes. A quiet respect. Danielle nods, but before she can respond, the younger officer hesitates. Chief Monroe, Aya. He looks at the ground, clearly battling with something. Danielle studies him. What is it, Officer Reynolds? He swallows hard. I just... His jaw tenses. I should have said something sooner. She doesn't let him off the hook easily. Yes, you should have. His ears redden, and he shifts uncomfortably. I didn't know who you were. Danielle lets the words hang. And if I hadn't been the chief... Her voice is quiet, but it carries. The question lingers between them. The young officer rubs the back of his neck. I don't know, he admits. But I should have done something. Danielle holds his gaze for a long moment before finally nodding. Then next time, do. He exhales, nodding back. Yes, ma'am. Satisfied, she turns her attention to the cashier, who is still clutching the counter. Are you all right? Danielle asks. The woman takes a shaky breath and nods. I think so. Then, after a beat, thank you. Danielle doesn't miss the emotion behind those words. It's not just gratitude. It's something deeper. Something generations in the making. She offers a small, firm nod. No one should have to deal with that. Not in my city. The cashier's eyes glisten, and she exhales sharply, straightening her spine. I'm pressing charges, she says with more certainty this time. Danielle smiles. Good. She turns toward Bishop. Make sure she has everything she needs. He nods, already pulling out his notepad. Danielle steps outside, feeling the warmth of the sun on her skin. Reporters are already gathering, microphones in hand, cameras rolling. A woman in a sharp blue blazer steps forward. Chief Monroe, can we get a statement? Danielle exhales. This moment was inevitable. She squares her shoulders, steps up to the podium that an officer hastily set up, and faces the crowd. Today, she begins, an officer under my command abused his power. The murmurs grow louder. Cameras zoom in. Danielle continues. He disrespected the badge. He disrespected the community. And he disrespected me. She lets the words settle before going on. But let me be clear. This is not about me. The murmuring quiets. This is about accountability, she says. Too often, officers like Tate believe they can act without consequence. That they can humiliate, intimidate, and degrade people without repercussions. She meets the gaze of every reporter. But those days are over. A hush falls over the crowd. Danielle's voice remains steady. Under my leadership, the citizens of this city will not live in fear of the people who are sworn to protect them. She pauses. And the officers who wear this badge will remember that it is a privilege, not a weapon. A slow wave of applause begins to build. Some in the crowd cheer. Others nod in approval. The reporter steps forward again. Chief Monroe, what will happen to Officer Tate? Danielle's lips press together. Officer Tate has been suspended indefinitely. An internal investigation is already underway. But I promise you this, justice will be served. More applause. As she steps back, letting the press eat up the moment, she feels a sense of finality settle over her. This was more than just handling a bad officer. This was setting a new precedent. She turns toward the street, where the squad car carrying Tate has disappeared. He thought he could spit on her and walk away. He had no idea who he was dealing with. Now, he does. The next morning, Officer Tate's name is everywhere. News outlets replay the footage of his actions on a loop. From the slurs he hurled to the moment he realized who Daniel truly was. Social media erupts, demanding not just his suspension, but his firing and prosecution. By midday, the mayor's office releases a statement. We stand behind Chief Monroe and her commitment to accountability. No officer is above the law. In the police department, silence follows Danielle as she walks the halls. Officers straighten when they see her. Some nodding in quiet respect, others avoiding eye contact. They all know. Things have changed. Sergeant Bishop steps into her office. Tate just officially resigned. And Danielle exhales. It's not surprising, but it's still satisfying. Good. Bishop smirks. Seems the department's finally waking up. Danielle leans back in her chair. One down. More to go. He nods, serious now. We'll handle it. Together. She meets his gaze. Yeah, we will. Outside, the city moves on, but something is different. The people at the grocery store. The ones who saw what happened firsthand hold their heads a little higher. The cashier who once flinched at uniformed officers now stands a little taller behind her counter. And Officer Tate. He's just another name in a long line of disgraced men who thought the badge made them untouchable. Danielle Monroe isn't just the new police chief. She's a reckoning.